What is good, YouTube? It's your boy Nate back at it again with another video. And as you could tell by the title of today's video, the new schedule of the NFL season just came out yesterday. So we're going to be talking about a little bit of football today. But before we get into that, before we get into the good stuff, I do want to shed light to why I haven't recorded in the past week and a half. Just been a very busy week. I'm guessing most of the people that watch my videos are from Buffalo, so I'm sure we all know it started getting nicer out, trying to get some sun, trying to have some time outside type shit. But some family shit ended up happening, so I had to do some family shit, and I was a little preoccupied, so I apologize for no videos. Should have made a post to let you guys know, but I was just that busy. I really didn't even have the time to do that. But yeah, I'm just about to hop right into today's video. Hopefully today's video shouldn't be too long for you guys, and I'm just about to get into it. Today we're going to be talking about the primetime games that have been released in the 2025-2026 NFL schedule. I have a series of notes. I have some for Sunday Night Football, Thursday Night Football, and Monday Night Football. But today, as of right now, we're just going to be talking about Thursday Night Football games. I'm not going to be talking about every single game because there are 17 games that are already slated right now. And not every single one of those games are catching my eye. Let's be honest. I'm not really fiending to see the New York Giants versus the Philadelphia Eagles round 62. I'm good. They're gonna have their two matchups in the season anyway. I don't want one on Thursday Night Football. That's just me. But the first one I got, I'm not gonna say this is my this isn't really ranked. This isn't like my most anticipated to least anticipated. This is just by the number of weeks that they're in. So the first one is in week 2, and we're gonna be talking about Green Bay versus Washington. Washington at Green Bay. Why do I think that's going to be a good game? All I got to say is look at what Washington did last year. Look at what Green Bay did last year without the receivers. Now Green Bay got some receivers. They got a little bit more defense. Washington got a little bit more defense. Got a little bit more offensive weapons. They're looking a little nicer. They got Deebo Samuel. That game is going to be fun. Second game of the season for those two teams. I think that game is going to be really fun. They're going to be working on a short schedule, so we're going to have to see how both those teams do working on a short schedule in the beginning of the season. But everything's going to be a little bit shaky. It's the beginning of the season. The first game is going to be on Sunday, then they're going to go again and play on Thursday. It's going to be a little tough. I feel like that game is going to be slow to begin, but by the second half, boy, I'm expecting fireworks. I'm expecting fireworks in this game. I feel like that game is going to be really fun. But next game we're jumping all the way to week 9. I'm not saying there are absolutely no good Thursday Night Football games until week 9 from week 2. I'm just saying they're not that hype. These are my most anticipated. So remember that. All opinion based around here. All opinion based. But for number 2, I got the Ravens at Dolphins. Week 9. Now, I don't expect it to be the game we got a couple years ago when OBJ was still on the Ravens and it was about a 56 point game. Not the score differential, but how much points were put up by the Ravens, I'm pretty sure. But boy, I think this game's going to be fun. I mean, the Dolphins got some defense. Their defense was not great last year, but I feel like they're getting some help. They're getting a little bit of people back. They're getting people off of injuries, stuff like that. They just re-signed some new people. They're getting people out of the draft. The Dolphins could be a little bit scary coming out of the AFC East with my Bills. I don't know. Could be a little bit scary. There are a couple scary teams in the AFC East now. I don't like that. But them facing the Ravens, I got very I raised the eyebrow when I seen that one, because Lamar versus Tua. I know everybody's been talking about Tua differently lately, but if he's healthy, Tua's good. We cannot say that Tua is not a good quarterback. He's not a great quarterback by any means, but he is a good quarterback. He is a fundamental quarterback. And I just feel like that'll be a really good quarterback matchup to watch. Great wide receivers around the board. The Ravens do have pretty good wide receivers. I'm not going to hate. But yeah, I just feel like that's going to be a fun matchup. Nothing too much to talk about. Number 3, next matchup is in Week 12. And it's my Buffalo Bills at the Houston Texans house. Now, you remember what happened in 2024 when we went to Houston. Don't remind me, because my boy Keon Coleman scored that touchdown with like a minute left, and we was really about to win that game. But that motherfuckers fucking got the ball back, and then our defense was like, we're tired. So yeah, last year we lost to the Houston Texans, which would have been better for us to beat the Texans last year while they still had Stephon Diggs, because now they don't got Stephon Diggs. But I'm not going to say we putting belt to ass, because the Houston Texans are a good team, and they have a really good defense. But I think it's going to be a really good game. I have it written down that it's at Houston. Please, someone in the comments, let me know if I'm wrong about that, because we faced Houston in Houston last year. So I feel like if we're facing Houston again this year, we should be in Buffalo. So please correct me if I'm wrong. But there's really not too much to talk about with this game, you know. Just two solid teams that have already made a name for themselves that are just fighting to get to that next level. And this is a Week 12 matchup, a little late in the season. I'm pretty sure both teams will already have their bye week by then. So both these teams should be fresh by then. I'm expecting to see haymakers in this game. I'm expecting this Bills versus Texans game on this schedule this year. I'm expecting that to look like the Bills versus Detroit game last year, where we come in there and we put our fucking foot down and we show them why the fuck we're one of the best offenses in the league, while also showcasing our defense, because our defense is not bad by any means. I do not want to try saying that the Buffalo Bills defense is bad, but they have their moments where it just, when you're watching them, it feels like they're not playing any defense. As a Bills fan, I think I know what I'm talking about. I get very stressed out watching Bills games. Very stressed out. But we're not going to talk about that. We're going to jump right into the next one. And the next one's going to be the Dallas Cowboys at the Detroit Lions. Week 14. Just 2 weeks after that Bills matchup. I feel like this is going to be... I feel like this is going to be really, really good. Every time the Cowboys and Detroit face, even back in the day when it was Tony Romo versus Matthew Stafford, Kelvin Johnson, Dez Bryant... Oh, it was so fun. It was great. It was great. These two teams know how to face each other. They know a lot about each other. I don't know how they know so much about each other, because they really don't see each other that much. But they do their research with each other, and they make the games fun. Their games are usually pretty tight, but I say by like the third or fourth quarter in most games, whichever team has the edge, they usually pull through and they start looking a little bit better come the second half, and they start scoring a little more points and stuff like that. But I'm very intrigued to see what the Cowboys look like this year, because they have George Pickens. I was going to make a video about that, but as I said in the beginning of the video, I was dealing with family stuff, so I was a little bit busy at the time. And now I just feel like it's a little too late to talk about the George Pickens trade, just because I'm pretty sure everyone's already heard about it. Don't really need to talk about something that everyone already knows. At least I feel like, if you guys do want me to talk about that trade, break down everything that happened, let me know down in the comments. I have no problem recording that. I really don't. It was already in my book. I just didn't get to it because I missed it. But let me know. But yeah, Detroit versus Cowboys, I feel like that's going to be a good one. Every time we get Detroit versus Cowboys, it's usually a banger. So I'm expecting no less. And this one right here is going to be Oh, this one right here is going to be good. I feel it this year. I feel the Denver Broncos taking at least one game from the Kansas. No, I can't even say that because the Broncos took one game from the Chiefs last year, and I don't care if it counted or not. The Broncos took a game from the Chiefs last year. This year, I need the Broncos to take two. Do the season sweep, bro. We almost had them in Kansas City last year. We just lost off a boink-ass fucking field goal. So, I think Denver can take it. It's Denver at Kansas City. That's going to be tricky. Week 17. And it's on Christmas. This is a Christmas Day game. So, boys is going to be playing with a little extra motivation, if you know what I mean. There's not too much to say about this game. Because Kansas City is Kansas City. Patrick Mahomes going to be Patrick Mahomes. They still got Travis Kelce, even though he's now 35 years old and he's aging and he didn't look great last year. He had his moments. And it's still Travis Kelce. So, and they still have a really good defense. They still have that defensive coordinator, Spagnuolo. So I'm not expecting them to get any worse on defense. If anything, they could look a little bit better, which is scary. And it might take their offense a little bit of time to find their footing, but this specific matchup is in week 17. So by then they could already have found their footing by week 9, and now they're running. Now they're doing good. Now they're full motion, looking for another playoff run. But hopefully the Broncos could pull through. The Broncos have a nice offense now, a nice sturdy quarterback, great defense. I could not harp on Denver's defense enough. I might have to make a video on that alone. That's no fly zone 2.0. But I feel like Denver versus KC, both their matchups this year is going to be a must watch. I don't think the other game is prime time, but that doesn't matter. But it does, because that's what I'm talking about today. But yeah, Denver, KC, it's going to be a banger. It's usually a banger. It's going to be a banger. Bo Nix versus Patrick Mahomes. I need Bo Nix to take that next step. I know it's only year 2, but look at what you did in year 1. Like, come on. Now, before I wrap up the video, I do have a couple honorable mentions because, like I said, there are 17 games on Thursday Night Football. I'm not talking about all 17, but I do want to throw out a couple more games on there that when I looked at the schedule, I seen these games and I'm like, I'm going to have to catch that one. Week 3, we got the Dolphins at the Bills. Last year, we had the Bills at the Dolphins week 3. I think we know how that turned out. I'm pretty sure the final score was 30-13. The Bills were running rampant in that game. My boy James Cook had at least 150 yards, so I'd like to see that happen again. But like I said, for the Ravens-Dolphins game, Dolphins defense might be a little more tight than they were last year. But this is going to be week 3, so teams are going to be a little bit slow, trying to find their footing, trying to make sure they're comfortable, stuff like that, trying to get into the offensive scheme again. You know how it is. If you watch football consistently, you know how it is. It usually takes them guys at least the 3rd or 4th week, second half, to start really feeling it, and then you can see that offense click. Next one, week 8, Minnesota at the Chargers. I personally put this game on here because I really want to see this game. Justin Herbert versus J.J. McCarthy, Justin Jefferson, Ladd McConkey. I just feel like there's star power in this game. It's going to be in L.A. I feel like it's going to be a fun game. It's going to be a nice watch. If I'm not doing anything week 8 Thursday night, I'm watching that game for sure. Not making no promises, though. Next one is week 10, and it's Raiders at Denver. I'm not putting the Denver Broncos on here to be biased, y'all. But we have to... Someone in the comments has to agree with me that the Broncos got better during this offseason. I don't see how they got any worse. Now, I did see that Dre Greenlaw has suffered another injury. If that is 100% true, because I'm not 1,000% sure yet. I didn't do much research on that. But if Dre Greenlaw has gone down with another season-ending injury, that's not the best. But I'm pretty sure we still have Alex Singleton. The guys that we have been there, so I'm sure they'll be able to fill up the holes. The Raiders are looking really good. They got nice offensive weapons. Ash and Genty. They still got Brock Bowers. Geno Smith. I feel like that's gonna be a good game. It's gonna be at Denver, Week 10. I feel like that one's gonna be a good one. And then the last one I want to talk about. Not a lot of people are gonna look at it and think it's gonna be a good game. I don't necessarily think it's gonna be a great game. But I got the Bears at the Eagles, Week 13. And I have this on here because I feel like the Bears defense is not terrible. It's kind of like the Bills defense, though, where sometimes they just, like, are non-existent for some reason. And the Eagles are a great offense, so they can pick that apart. But I also feel, now you're seeing me figure this out live, that the Eagles on offense are still way more powerful than the Bears on defense. And the Bears on offense are not as good as the Eagles on defense. Like, it's going to be a fun game, but I feel like it's going to be more of showcasing what the Eagles are made of as the defending Super Bowl champs, rather than it's going to be, let's watch this young up-and-coming team become an up-and-comer. I still think it's going to take the Bears at least a year or two to become that next up-and-coming team. I don't see them becoming the next Washington, but they can make a case. They could be like the next Chargers, where they're like 10-7. They look really good, winning games they're supposed to win. Excuse me, I'm sorry. But yeah, that's the list for my Thursday night football games. These are my most anticipated. Let me know down in the comments which games you guys are most anticipated for. Hopefully later on today, I'll be making another video about my most anticipated Sunday night football games. And if I have the time, I will be making another video, 3 in one day, about my top Monday night football games. So make sure you guys stay tuned to that. Make sure you guys subscribe if you guys are fucking with the content. Make sure you guys leave a like. Don't forget to comment anything you guys want to talk about, any suggestions. Just ask me how I'm doing. Let me know how you guys are doing. I love to hear about your guys' day. I love to have communication with you guys. And yeah, don't want to harp on it too much, but I really thank you guys for all the support. Trying to push back up to 50 subscribers. And yeah, hopefully I'll see y'all again later for another video. Peace.